So let me just stick to one advice to advance for this person. Hey guys, welcome to the studio. Today is Sunday. It's a perfect day. The weather is shitty, which is perfect to just produce music and not be distracted. I'm feeling quite alright after yesterday's escalating wedding. My girlfriend, not that much. She's at home sleeping, trying to recover, which gives me even more time to make music. Because really that's the main problem at the moment that I have. We are now building this entire studio, which takes up a whole lot of time. I have now employed 3 people, another person is coming and then also another one, and like helping them and like getting them to do their tasks on their own takes some time. So I have to spend a lot of time with them showing everything, which leaves me with absolutely 0 time making music in the past 2 months, or almost absolutely no time to make music. So on the weekend when there's not a wedding, I try to come here and like concentrate fully on making music. That's why we'll also cut today's vlog just to a simple track submit edition. So welcome to Track Submits, the show where I listen to your songs, give you feedback, try to help you with some tips and tricks, and try to estimate how long it will take you to actually release your music on a decent label. First song is by Kawara called Piece of Dust featuring Shreya. So yeah, let's just hit play. I don't know, this track has like vocals that are decent, male and female, which is quite a lot of work to actually do. You have to record twice, 2 people, and like get them into the same vibe. This definitely worked. I don't like the writing that much, like rhyming dust with trust, and like this has been done already a million times. But the vocals are cool, like definitely something you can work with. What I personally don't like is the drop. It just doesn't sound as polished and as advanced. The drums, the bass, the mixing of kick and bass is fine. It's more like the sound design of the main synthesizer sounds. So for this track I would say the #1 thing to improve is the sound design of the main sounds. They sound a little too ravey, too old schoolish, and also too much like you open up a synth and like you just use the first preset that is there. Try to polish them, try to layer them, try to put effects on them. Try to make them your own, then maybe save them, use them again on another song, and this way you will build up like a synth sound collection that is yours. Next up by Jordan Freezer, Lights Up. It says in the description first track. For first track it's cool, it's good. Because with your first track you just try to figure out how your DAW works. Sound design isn't that good, mixing isn't that, it's all not really that good, but for first track it's nice. So let me just stick to one advice to advance for this person, and that would be low cutting. Low cut every single channel, maybe except the kick, and even the kick sometimes needs a little bit of low cutting to just get rid of that extended bass, unnecessary bass that almost every preset has, almost every drum sound, mic rumble. There's always a lot going on in the very low frequencies. I'm speaking like 100 and lower, 50 and lower. I mean, you can see in the analyzer, there is like a ton of bass at 20 Hertz. No speaker can actually reproduce those low frequencies. You can't really hear them, just feel them. They're unnecessary. No one, yeah, they're just taking away space in your mix, and no one can hear it, so it's pointless. Just please low cut every single track except for kick and bass. There, it really depends on the kick and bass, the notes they're playing, and how they are structured. But everything else, just get rid of the low end. Next one, Dom Astro, Bright. So here the build-up is actually quite good. I absolutely love the little silent gap in between the end of the break and the beginning of the drop. That's very bold. I love that when tracks do that, especially club tracks. This usually creates a great moment in the club where it's like silent just for this tiny bit and then everything is banging again. But here it's not really banging after the break. The drop is weak. There are no chords, there's no melody, there's no drive, no bite. There's like just this, I think it's maybe just an arpeggiator, like one note hold down that isn't doing a whole lot, and it repeats like every single bar is the same, and that's something you should actually never ever do in a song. Even club tracks that are repetitive, still the effect sounds, the ear candy, the ambient background stuff is changing. So try to make every single bar of your song slightly different than all of the other bars, otherwise it just gets boring. It's always about that balance, like repeating it enough so that it gets stuck in people's heads, but also not repeating it so much or too similar that it gets boring. A lot of great club tracks just have like one rising sound over 30 seconds and it makes it interesting immediately. So try to implement more of those little sounds in the background that rise or fall, or just make like a little drum fill every once in a while. This keeps it interesting. Next up by Jay Hendrix, a song called Primitive Vow. You see, this one is a perfect example for that. It's a boring song. There's just kick, bass, a little bit of loops and hi-hats. I mean, that's all fine for like underground club music, but he's adding like small elements with a lot of reverb so that they have a long tail, and this keeps it, although actually the foundation of the song is quite boring, it keeps it interesting because you have something that changes to listen to. This is so important in music. If it doesn't change, your ear gets boring so fast, like within like 5-6 seconds. If you listen to the same thing, it just gets annoying. So just make it slightly change over time, please, because music is still the art of time. A painting, you just look at it and you got it. Music, you have to sit down, take your time and listen to it. So don't waste the listener's time by repeating stuff. The Primitive O track is quite cool. I'm missing, as almost always, like the main topic and main theme. There is no element in the song that makes it rememberable, so that I know, that's that song with that element. Maybe like a slightly trancey synthesizer that plays every once in a while, like 3 or 4 or 5 notes. Maybe use a sample here and there. There are great examples where like underground deep techno tracks take instruments that actually don't fit to that kind of style, kind of make it work, and this way make something that is interesting and sticks out. Because so far the track is just like all of the other tracks. A good one. It's okay. It's nice. It's like the mixing is fine, and the bass is hitting, which is important for this type of music. But try to stand out. Cool track. The mixing is quite good. I think the vocals are also okay. The piano is amazing. Definitely keep that. I'm not the biggest fan of the main synthesizer sound in the drop. It could be a little bit more polished. Maybe add a little bit of bit crushing, just a tiny bit to make it rougher. It sounds so clean, so standard right out of the synthesizer. Maybe a little bit of distortion also on top. Just a hint of it to make it like interesting, crispy, and to give the reverb and delay a little more surface to actually do something. If the sound is so clean, then also the reverb delay sounds a little boring. And here my number one advice would be definitely to repeat the vocals, bits of the vocals in the drop. Just all of your love, like every 4 bars at the end or every 8 bars at the end. This, yeah, it's just like a pattern that works. Everyone's doing it. It just works. Have in the drop like the main statement of the song repeat for the listener to sing along. But other than that, quite good. Definitely keep on working. This could be a release like in half a year max. So yeah, that's basically already it for track submits for today. If you want to submit your songs, you know that there is a link in the description. Just send me your song, I will listen to it, give you feedback, and we will see us back tomorrow again on Monday, fresh after me making music today for the entire day, and then probably back to constructing the studio upstairs, and then it's also finalizing and finishing my new song that is called Back to Back. I got now the vocals, the contracts, everything is sealed and done. I can finally share it with you and also show you how I put this track together. See you tomorrow again, and that's it. Sign out.